episode. I cut your neck, that 5 award knife is on deck.
What's good, everybody? What's good? It's your boy, Cardinal Bud Crawford. And we're back for another one. Or you can call me E.S. Red. Alright, y'all. New topic. No more talk. Terence Crawford, take it or leave it, says Al Haymon about the Errol Spence Jr. super fight. Alright, y'all. So, yesterday, news came out that, it was almost there. The fight's almost there. Both sides have agreed. And I told y'all that I was hoping Terence Crawford didn't throw another monkey wrench in the process. But it's looking like he threw another monkey wrench in the process. So, Al Haymon came out. PBC, Showtime had spoke about a week and a half ago regarding this fight. And they basically were saying they're through with the negotiating process. They're trying to release a fight schedule. And they don't have any more time to wait on Terence Crawford to try to put this fight together. Now you have Al Haymon, who is the CEO or the top dog at Premier Boxing Championships, coming out and saying you either have to take this fight or you have to leave this fight. We can't drag this out another 3 or 4 or 5 weeks just for maybe a 5% or a 10% portion of the purse. It's ridiculous at this point. Fans are sick of it. I think PBC is sick of it. The only one that this is benefiting is Terence Crawford. Really, the process that's going on is benefiting Terence Crawford because it's keeping his name relevant. Even though he hasn't had a fight in almost a year, everybody's talking about Terence Crawford. It's keeping him very relevant. Now, the longer he draws this out, I'm starting to feel like maybe he's injured. Maybe he's Mayweathering. IV gate number 2. But I'm just playing with the IV gate. But maybe he's injured. Maybe he's trying to hide an injury that he's had in sparring or training or something. I mean, it's got to be a reason why we keep getting so close to this thing being done, and then it seems like the next day new news comes out and it's the complete opposite of what we thought it was. It's the complete opposite of what it should be, which is the fight being announced. And this is why I keep telling y'all that everybody who keeps saying this fight is done, this fight is ready, both sides are ready to go, that the fight is nearly signed, that the fight is almost. Whenever somebody says almost or nearly, they don't know what they're talking about, because it's either signed or it's not. And at the end of the day, at this point, like I've said maybe about 3, 4, 5 videos ago, it might be time for Errol Spence and Team Spence and PBC just to move on and try to find another lucrative fight for them to have in the meantime. And I keep telling y'all, Pacquiao's still out there, man. That's a very lucrative fight. Now that depends on what Errol Spence is trying to accomplish in the meantime, why they can't make the Terence Crawford fight. We haven't heard him voice a backup plan. We did hear Pacquiao come out about a month ago and say that he'd be willing to fight Terence Crawford if the Errol Spence talks fell apart. Now, is this a situation of Terence Crawford sideline negotiating with somebody else, and maybe the money is bigger than what Errol Spence and PBC are offering him? So he's trying to wait it out as long as he can to get the dollars, maybe to match up a little bit more with something else that he's been offered. What else could he have been offered? Because at this point, the only fights we've heard him talk about is Errol Spence and Charlo. Those have been the only 2 fights we've heard him really voice his opinion about. And Charlo's a part of PBC too, so I don't understand. I wouldn't be able to understand why, if he was backdoor negotiating with Charlo, that PBC wouldn't already know about this. So you would think that he can't be negotiating with Charlo, because they would have just said, well, he's got something else going on, or you know, we're trying to work out a backup plan fight. He's interested in fighting Charlo, so if we can't make the Errol Spence fight, he'll get in the ring with Charlo. I think they would have said something about that if that was the case. So the only other thing I could think of that maybe he, now there is the Bob Arum lawsuit. Maybe, and I've said this before too, maybe there's something in those contracts that he signed that he can't just make this fight yet. He can't make it until they resolve this situation with Top Rank. Maybe he's still contractually obligated to ESPN. Maybe he's still contractually obligated to Bob Arum for something. We don't know. So that could be a hold-up. So it could be a Charlo hold-up. It could be a Bob Arum, the lawsuit hold-up. Or it could be maybe he's negotiating with Manny Pacquiao behind the scenes to try to make a big money fight. Maybe that fight is worth more than the Errol Spence fight could be worth. I mean, Pacquiao's already voiced his opinion about that, and he said he's willing to go if he's willing to go. And the only other name I could bring up, which I don't think is a possibility at this point, because there are 2 situations going on simultaneously. I think Josh Taylor has a mandatory coming up, and not only that, I don't think Bob Arum would want to do business with Terence Crawford until they resolve that contract, you know, until they resolve that lawsuit and the contract situation regarding the lawsuit and the fight he was supposed to be promised with Errol Spence Jr. that was supposed to be in that contract. Now, you know, at this point, where does Errol Spence go? Because now it becomes weird now, because if they don't make this fight, oh boy, does that mess things up. If they don't make this fight, where does Errol Spence Jr. go? Now, he could sideline Terence Crawford and backdoor Terence Crawford as well and say, okay, well, you're negotiating with Pacquiao, I'll go negotiate with Pacquiao. Because, you know, why should I give you that fight when he was last signed to PBC, and it should be a simple fight to make because they already had it in the bag once. Would that be possible? I mean, it could be possible. More than likely, maybe he would try to fight. Maybe he would give one of the young guns a shot. You know, if he can't make the Terence Crawford fight, you know, him versus Boots would be big in the eyes of boxing fans. Casuals wouldn't catch on to it, I think, until late. And I don't think it would do great pay-per-view numbers, but hardcore boxing fans would love that fight and love to see that fight. And then there's always the kangaroo in the room, and the fight that is extremely simple to make for PBC if they can't put that Terence Crawford fight together, which is the Keith Thurman fight. And Keith Thurman he's the only person out there, our only fighter, welterweight out there, who really doesn't have anything in the works at the moment. I think even him trying to face up with Canelo, you know, Canelo's about to fight Triple G. That can't happen. I think Charlo has a fight coming up, so he can't face off with Charlo. The Keith Thurman fight would be big for PBC fans because they wanted that for a long time if they can't make the Crawford fight. But if he can get Manny Pacquiao in the ring, that would be huge. That would be huge. As big as it was when they announced it the first time and it didn't happen, I think it would be even bigger now because people a lot more people would tune in just to see Errol Spence knock out Pacquiao, because that's what they would believe after the Ugas fight, that Pacquiao, there's no way Pacquiao could survive 12 rounds with Errol Spence Jr. I think that fight would be huge. I think, you know, if they can't make the Errol Spence Jr. Terence Crawford fight, what is the next best fight, you know, for Errol Spence Jr.? I think I've laid it out for Terence Crawford, which, you know, some of that stuff for Terence Crawford is not realistic either. Once again, Charlo has a fight coming up, I believe. You know, he could possibly match up with Keith Thurman. He could possibly match up with Manny Pacquiao. He could possibly take on a Boots or a Virgil. Now, if Terence Crawford was to take on a Boots or a Virgil, I would give him mad props and big ups and respect for taking that fight, because that's a dangerous fight, and anything could happen in that fight. But I would definitely give him a lot of new respect if they can't make this fight. I'll take on Boots. But, you know, I think the Boots, the Virgils of the world, they're unrealistic because the money's not there. Now, the Pacquiao, the Thurman, I'm trying to think if are there any other names that you could actually throw out. I don't really think there are any other names that you can. Maybe Danny, you know, he could fight Danny, I guess. Other than that, there's really nobody else for to take out either one of them. You know, this fight is so big for welterweight boxing, and it's going to be crazy if it doesn't actually pan out the way it's supposed to pan out. And it'll be totally a shame if we have to wait another year to get this fight. And I've told y'all with what's going on in the world, that could be affecting the fight too. Just might not be enough money involved in the situation. Let me know what y'all think down in the comment section below. Hit that like button for me. Sure. If you want to holler at me on any other social media platform, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube's, you're more than likely to get a response on YouTube, but you can always holler at me on any other social media platform. I think that's it for now. It's hot, man. The heat is back, and it is not playing. It's your boy, Cardinal Bud Crawford, or E.S. Red, if that's what you want to call me. And I think we're out of here.
I've been blowing clouds on the back porch. Bitch, shut up, I paid for it.